What's up, family? Hey, I want to jump on here. I want to have a real in-depth and deep conversation with you guys today. Okay? This is not something that I normally talk about, but it's something that we need to talk about. What are you fixated on? What are you focused on? What are you thinking about? What are you dwelling on? Stay with me. We're going to go somewhere. In the Bible, it blows me away how that in Genesis, the devil is described as a serpent, as a little snake. Later in the Bible, he's described as a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. And yet in Revelations, the last chapter of the Bible, he's described as a seven-headed great dragon. How is it that the devil can go from a serpent to be described as a roaring lion seeking whom he may devour to a seven-headed dragon? What was he feeding on? What brought about that great growth? Stay with me. As a kid, that always blew me away. That always amazed me. And nobody ever answered that question. How did the devil go from being a small serpent to this huge seven-headed dragon? Family, what you think about, you bring about. I'm going to say again, what you think about, you bring about. Whatever it is that you get fixated on, whatever it is that you dwell on, you manifest it, you create it, you magnify it. Whatever your issues are, whatever your circumstances is, whatever you dwell on, you bring it into fruition. What you think about, you bring about. You are that powerful. You are that powerful. If you wake up in the morning and you start off having a bad day and that's all you think about is how bad your day is, guess what? Your day is going to be magnified as far as how bad it is. You know what I mean? How chaotic it is. You create that with your power of intent. That may not be your intentions, your conscious intention, but you still bring it about. You are that magical, if you will. You are that powerful. The more grateful you are, man, the more grateful you'll become. The more grateful things that happen in your life to make you even more grateful. The more depressed you are, the more sad you are, the more frustrated you are, the more pissed you are, or whatever the case may be. If you think about that and dwell on that, you're going to find more things to be pissed about, more things to be depressed about, more things to be frustrated about, more things to be angry about. And the same on the flip. If you're grateful, you'll find more things to be grateful about. The universe, God, whatever you want to say, will bring more things into your orbit to where you can have more to be grateful for. And one of my earlier videos, I talked about gratitude journal. I started writing in a gratitude journal well over 2 years ago. And what I did was, I said, okay, every morning I'm going to get up and I'm going to write 4 things that I'm grateful for. And at nighttime, I'm going to write 4 things that I'm grateful for that transpired throughout the day. Stay with me. This completely changed my life. Completely changed my perspective. A simple 30-day gratitude challenge. I took a journal, and in the morning I wrote 4 things that I was grateful for. In the evening I wrote 4 things that happened throughout my day that I was grateful for. And over time, what I noticed was that the more I did it, the more I thought about being grateful. And what I mean, the more things that I saw throughout the day that I was grateful for, it went from me writing just four things that I was grateful for to like pages of things that occurred throughout the day that I was grateful for. So what happened is at nighttime, before I go to bed, because I'm writing in this gratitude journal, man, it completely changed the way I slept. It completely changed the way I thought. At nighttime, the last thing I did before I got in bed was write down what all transpired throughout the day that I was grateful for. Man, that put me in such a peaceful place. That put me in such a calm, loving, grateful um, mind frame. Man, I slept so peaceful. I slept so sound. And in the morning, by starting off writing four things I was grateful for, man, it started my day off on this atmosphere of giving thanks. It started my day off on this atmosphere of being grateful. And so throughout the day, I became even more grateful. Throughout the day, I saw and experienced far more things throughout the entire day that I was grateful for. And what I started doing is in my phone, in my notes section, I would just start writing little things. Hey, such and such happened, this happened, that, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Why? Because I didn't want to forget all the things that I was grateful for. And so throughout my entire day, I'm taking quick notes of different things I experienced, different things that I saw that I was grateful for. And so by doing this little 30-day gratitude journal thing, I ended up doing it for like 6, 7 months. But I initially just wanted to do it for 30 days. And what happened was that, man, I completely went from being a negative, pessimistic individual to being optimistic, grateful, joyful, just man, just it's all good. You know what I mean? No matter what transpires, it's all good. And even when something negative happened, man, I didn't focus on that. I didn't even trip off of that. I just went right back to something else that I was grateful for. Something else happened that, it's like, man, oh, I'm grateful for this. Man, I appreciate this. Man, blah, blah, blah. So I didn't dwell on the negative stuff. I didn't get caught up on the drama and the chaos of life. And the great majority of us, the truth be told, I'm out here in North Carolina. It's humid out here. I'm out here sweating, excuse me. But the great majority of us, we get caught up on the negative, and we don't know how to shift that. We don't know how to stop being negative. And so the more negative we are, the more negative we become. The more things we see in life that makes us even more negative. What are you fixated on? What are you focused on? As long as you are thinking about how lonely you are, you're going to stay lonely. Because it's going to be magnified, whatever it is that you're thinking about. What you think about, you bring about. And the universe doesn't see that, you don't want this or you don't like this. The universal law is what you think about, you bring about. And so if you think about negative stuff, man, that's what's going to happen. That's what you're going to get more of. The universe is like, oh, they like this. I'm going to give them more of it. Oh, they like this drama stuff. They must want more of it. So let's give them more. When it's positive stuff, it's gratitude. It's like, oh, they like this. Let's give them more reasons to be grateful. Oh, they like this. Let's give them more reasons that be filled with joy. If you're depressed, if you're full of anxiety, if you're full of fear, frustration, pain, suffering, whatever it is that you're full of, you can let that go. The choice is yours. You can hold on to it, or you'd be like, yeah, nah, I'm cool. I don't want that anymore. And change your thinking. And you change your thinking by saying, okay, although all these things exist, I'm no longer going to focus on them. Because by focusing on them, you've been focusing on them your whole life, and it ain't changed. You know what I mean? It ain't got any better. It's just gotten worse. So you have to change your thinking. And you change your thinking by shifting your perspective. You shift your perspective by saying, hey, you know what? All this negative, toxic crap that I've been holding on to, all this negative, toxic crap that I've been thinking about, this fear, this anxiety, this depression, whoop-de-whoop-de, whatever it is, man, I don't want to think about that stuff anymore. What can I be grateful for? Regardless of what's going on in my life, what is there to be grateful for? Oh man, as I was driving through, I caught this green light. Man, I'm glad because this is a long light. I'm glad that I caught this green light. Boom. Hey, you know what? Man, I found a parking spot. Man, I'm grateful that I found this parking spot. And you know what? Hey, you know, I'm grateful that I have a vehicle that's running. And you know what? I'm grateful that I got food because there's a lot of people that don't have food. And you know, man, I'm grateful that I have a place to stay. There's a lot of people that are homeless. Man, I'm grateful for my health because you know what, the reality, there's a lot of people stuck in hospitals. There's a lot of people that don't have the activity of their limbs. What are you grateful for? Are you grateful or are you negative? See, the trip is most of us want to believe that we're grateful when in reality we're negative. And because we're negative, we're depressed. Because we're negative, we're full of anxiety. We're full of fear, depression, bitterness, resentment, animosity, and all these other toxic traits. See, you can't be full of gratitude and be full of all these other things. You can't. It's impossible. It's impossible to have all those negative toxic traits and still say that you're an extremely grateful person and still say that you're a grateful person. It don't work like that. You can convince yourself that you're that. It don't matter. Your life isn't going to change. And you're still going to be the negative, toxic individual that's full of depression, anxiety, fear, and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. Just because you say you're grateful doesn't mean you're grateful. And you know you're not grateful when you sit there and you dwell far more on all the things that's going wrong. You dwell on all the things you don't like about your life. You dwell on all the issues. You're constantly complaining. You're never satisfied. You bring about what you think about. My hope and prayer is that you understand the importance of your perspective. That you understand the magnitude of your thoughts. I love you guys. Happy healing. Peace.